What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dax. Trash Talk. Y'all already know what it is, and we finna do it again. Black History Month, we got Earl Lloyd. We got National Signing Day, that was today. We got Super Bowl, a little bit, just a smidge. We got Philadelphia, Carson Wentz wanting out. We're gonna get into that a little bit. Las Vegas, we'll give everything for DeShaun. All right, so we're gonna see what's going on. Y'all already know what it is. Let's go ahead and jump right on into it. Halloween 1950, 21-year-old Earl Lloyd made his debut in the NBA. He became the first black basketball player to play in the National Basketball Association. All right. He grew up in Jim Crow, Virginia, went to West Virginia State. He was on campus minding his own business, and people start walking up to him, "Hey, man, congratulations, I heard you was leaving." What you mean? He didn't even know that he had got drafted. He had got drafted to the Washington Capitals. He was drafted along two other brothers. It was Chuck Cooper and Nate Sweetwater Clifton from the Harlem Globetrotters. Cooper was drafted to the Celtics, and then Nate was drafted to the Knicks. All right, so they all got drafted at the same time. The reason why there's not another one, or we all talk about Earl Lloyd, is because Earl Lloyd was the first one to debut in the NBA. And of course, like I said, he was debuted on Halloween of 1950. He played 7 games with the Capitals, and then after those 7 games, he had to go serve in the U.S. military. He went to Korea. After that, he came back, and the Washington Capitals were no longer a basketball team. They had went out of business. So then he ended up playing for, I forget the name of the team. He played for the Syracuse Nationals. Okay, so from the Washington Capitals to the Syracuse Nationals, which we know now as the Philadelphia 76ers. All right, so he played for the 76ers, and then he ended up moving and playing for Detroit. And then after playing for Detroit, that's where he retired, and that's where he stayed and lived. He became a police officer and worked in school administration in Detroit, did a lot of stuff in the Detroit community. He went into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2003, and rest his soul, he passed away in 2015. All right, so we congratulate and we clap it up for Earl Lloyd, because Earl Lloyd was the first black basketball player in the National Basketball Association, and he paved the way for all of our players that we see today. And as you see, there's a lot of black players in the NBA. All right, so we transition, and then we move over to National Signing Day. And as you all know, and if you don't know, I'm going to let you know that as predicted, the number one class of 2021 was the only Alabama. All right. And Alabama not only had the number one class this year, but they have the number one class and the best recruiting class of all time, beating out the 2010 Florida Gators. All right. So I'm going to run it off real quick, let you know the top 10. And then I'll talk a little bit about, Alabama, because they flipped some players too. I'm not going to go into players because there's way too many, but we're going to talk about it. So Alabama at number 1, Ohio State number 2, Georgia number 3, LSU number 4, Clemson number 5, Oregon number 6, Texas A&M number 7, USC number 8, Notre Dame number 9, and Michigan at number 10. Alabama did a lot of flipping. Flipped some players from Florida to Alabama, Georgia to Alabama. So, they were able to create a real good class. They had a top class towards the beginning anyway, but then they really started to get down into the nitty gritty, once signing day got here, and they kept that number 1 spot. So real quick, before I jump into the Super Bowl, Carson Wentz has said that he wants out of Philadelphia. We heard that news earlier today. There's really not much other than him saying that he wants out. Some people are starting to think, maybe does he go to Indianapolis, reunite with Frank Reich, since Frank Reich was the guy that was his coach when he was in Philadelphia when they went on the Super Bowl run when he got hurt. Does he get he just says he wants to restart with another team. And I mean, hey, I understand. I would be the same way if I was him. And so some people are kind of predicting maybe he goes to Indianapolis. Who knows? We'll watch it. We'll see when I figure something out. I'm going to let you know. All right. And then after that, we also have Derek Carr is a part of Las Vegas's kind of trades. They're thinking about trading Derek Carr and some picks and first rounds and all this stuff. And they're targeting DeShaun Watson. So we'll see what happens there. Right now, it's just a rumor. Las Vegas Review Journal came out last night and said that they wanted to, make this move. Las Vegas, as in the Raiders. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't really know if Houston is willing to give up DeShaun Watson for Derek Carr, but as adamant as DeShaun is to get out of Houston, I don't really think they have a choice. They're going to have to let him go. But we'll see what happens. So now I'm going to jump into the Super Bowl just a little bit. All right. And when these two teams played earlier, it was 27-24, and it was the Chiefs on top. Chiefs didn't necessarily dominate the game. They did in the very, very beginning. But when you really look into the numbers and look into the game, the number that jumps out to you is the 2 interceptions that Brady threw. All right. And because I'll just read off some of the stats here for you. Pat Mahomes was 37 for 49 with 462 and 3 touchdowns. Tom Brady was 27 of 41 for 345 with 3 touchdowns, but he had 2 interceptions. Tyreek Hill, 13 receptions, 269. Gronk, 6 receptions for 106. So when Kansas City jumped out to a 17-0 lead in the first quarter, that's kind of like the oh my God, type moment. And then they added on to it. They went in the second quarter, went in the half at 20-7. So it was kind of like a game where it seemed like they were just like smashing them. Tampa Bay got some late points, but in this game, of course, 100% in the Super Bowl, you can't expect that to happen. Now, we all know that crazy stuff can happen. We look back to Broncos and Seahawks. Ball goes over Peyton Manning's head. Next thing you know, it's 30-0, and daggum Seahawks are dancing in the second quarter. So you never know what's going to happen in the Super Bowl, but you can't expect that. I mean, I think some of the key matchups that you need to look at when you come to the Super Bowl, or when you look at, what's going to sway me, because everybody wants to pick somebody and everybody wants to root for somebody. So when it comes to that, who are you rooting for? You need to look at the key matchups. Number one, first and foremost, that Bucs defensive line is phenomenal. You got JPP and Vita Vea and them guys down there. They've been wreaking havoc all year, but then you have an offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs that is on their third string tackle, which granted, he's played good up until this point. I mean, obviously they're in the Super Bowl, but when you get to that point, it's like, okay, how is he going to fare against these guys? Then you got Tyreek Hill and Scotty Miller. How are the defenses going to account for those two guys? They're the 2 fastest players on the field. Scotty Miller for Tampa Bay, and then Tyreek Hill, of course, for, the Kansas City Chiefs. So to see how that stuff is going to work out, how are you going to affect that? Because on the Tampa Bay side, AB is back. Antonio Brown is back in the game. So then he's going to try to take off the top part of that defense. So when he tries to take off the top, what are you going to do below? Because that's the stuff that Tom Brady feasts off of, is that middle to close range. He'll throw the ball down the field. Now, don't get me wrong on that. But he likes that stuff because that eats up defenses. And you got to get pressure on Tom Brady. If you don't get pressure on Tom Brady, you will lose this football game. That's just it in a nutshell. So that's pretty much all I got for right now. I'm not going to get too far into it because tomorrow I'm going to come with y'all on the Bucs, and then on Friday I'm going to come at y'all with the Kansas City Chiefs. If you got anything you want to say, you got questions, hey, D, I need you to talk about this. Hey, D, who's hurt? Let me know what it is. It's your boy Dax. We right here every single day. Hit your boy up. YouTube fam, as always, smash that subscribe button. Hit your boy up. Instagram, Twitter. Peace.